Hi, my name is Bill Laboon. I'm the Director of Community and Education at Web3 Foundation here in Zug, Switzerland. And today I'm going to show you how to contribute to Crowdloans on Kusama using Polkadot.js. So in order to use Polkadot.js, I'm going to assume that you already have an account, probably generated via the Polkadot.js extension. Here you can see I have a Kusama account called Bill Crowdloans. So we'll go to polkadot.js.org/apps in your browser, and then make sure that we are on the Kusama network. So you can see here in the upper left-hand corner, it says that I'm on Polkadot. I want to be on Kusama. You can switch to any one of these different nodes. It will take a few moments for a connection to be made. And we can see under accounts that my Crowdloans account with 1 KSM is active. So we now go to Network Parachains. And here we can see some information about the current status of the network. So I can see that there are 2 parachains currently attached to the Kusama relay chain. One is StateMine and one is Karura. If I click on Parathreads tab, I can see that there are 12 other potential parachains. So this is what parathread means in this context. Every parachain starts life off as a parathread. And we can see that there is currently an auction going on for which parachain will be the next to join the relay chain. Here we can see that the current winner of the auction is Moon River. And we would like to contribute to a crowd loan for perhaps Moon River or perhaps one of the other potential parachains here. So we can see quite a few different projects have active crowd loans, as well as one crowd loan that was completed for Karura, which is currently a parachain. So let's take a look at this page so we can understand what all is involved in a crowd loan. Remember that a crowd loan is loaning some KSM so that a project can bid for a parachain slot. And generally, the user who does this is going to get some sort of benefit in return, although that benefit is up to the individual project. However, you are guaranteed to get that KSM back. Any KSM that you use for a crowd loan will be returned to you. It is handled by the runtime. And so it is important to do this through the crowd loan interface and not just send KSM tokens to an account. If you do it through the crowd loan process, then you are loaning to a project, but this project can do nothing with these tokens except bid in an auction to get a parachain slot, and it will be guaranteed to be returned to you. So let's take a look at the top here. We can see that there are 12 different crowd loans going on that have so far raised 755,412 KSM. Altogether, they have set a cap of 12.5 million KSM. That's what that M is for. However, since a crowd loan does not have to reach that cap, a crowd loan will end automatically if it reaches the cap, but generally you can set it as high as you want. And so we can see actually this is a bit of a ridiculous cap if you think about it, since if the cap was reached for all of these, that would be more than all the KSM that are currently in existence. So this is just at the top an overview of the crowd loans. Let's take a look at individual ones. And I want to remind you that I'm not endorsing any particular parachain or project on Kusama, but we're just going to use the first one as an example. So this first number is the parathread ID. So every parathread that joins the network has to have some identifier, some numeric identifier. So you'll notice that they start at 2000 for the parachain, external parachains, non-common good, non-system parachains will start at the number 2000. So we see here parathread ID belongs to Bifrost, and it is active. It's still going on. The other statuses it could be are ended or completed. So you can see here that this was completed. In fact, Karura was a winner in the previous auction. These are still raising and still bidding. After 30 days and 14 hours, this is the ending block from now, if this did not win a slot, then the KSM that were contributed to it will be returned to the user that contributed. And this is for lease periods 13 through 20. So it's looking to get the entire maximum of 8 lease periods. And in fact, all of these crowd loans are going for that maximum 8 periods, lease periods. You can see that this has raised 20,459.5281 KSM and has set a max of 1 million KSM. So if this ever does reach 1 million KSM, then it will bid, but no additional contributions can be made. You cannot contribute over the maximum. If you would like more information on any of these projects, there's generally a homepage link, which will link to those projects' homepage and give you more information about them. So we would like to contribute to a crowd loan. Again, just reminding you, this is not any sort of endorsement. I'm just clicking contribute on the first item on the list. And here you can see I'm contributing from the account, the Bill Crowd Loans account. And I will say, well, you see by default, it's actually showing me less than the minimum of what is allowed, which is 99.9999 milli-KSM. So I have slightly less than that. And so there is a minimum that you can contribute to in KSM to a crowd loan. There is also a maximum. Besides the amount of KSM that you have in your account, you cannot go above the cap. And so if I try to send in more KSM, then that would make me go over the cap. Then you can see that it won't let me do that. So there is both a minimum and a maximum, which you can see right below this. You can see that there is a minimum allowed is 99.9999 milli-KSM, and the max, or remaining until cap, is 979.5 kilo KSM. So do keep an eye on the denominations on the right here, because it can be a little bit confusing. So I'm going to contribute slightly more than the minimum here. And I'm going to click on contribute. And we can see here, if you're really interested, you can see what extrinsic is being sent. So it's crowdload contribute. Again, make sure you're not actually transferring any KSM. So we are adding for the crowd loan for 2000 parathread ID 2001, 100.0 milli-KSM, and there's no multi-sig or anything like that, so that's just null. So we're sending from the account Bill Crowd Loans, and we'll sign and submit. I'll have to enter my password. All right, so that's now gone into a block. You can see that the count actually increased from 281 to 282. This means that now 282 different accounts have contributed to this crowd loan. You'll also notice that there's now a list of my contributions underneath it. So I can see here that the Bill Crowd Loans account has contributed 0.1 KSM. It's important to note that once you contribute to a crowd loan, you cannot revoke or return your KSM. You can't change your mind. Remember, in blockchain, things are permanent, and this is especially permanent. So do make sure that it is what you want to do before you contribute. The only way at this point for me to get that 0.1 KSM back is if the crowd loan ends in 30 days unsuccessfully, or if they win a slot. When the slot is returned, I will get those KSM back. It is possible, however, to contribute more. So if I decide that besides my 0.1 KSM, I would like to add another 0.115 KSM. Once again, I will enter my password. And now I have contributed a total of 0.25 KSM. So how this works is that when the highest, we'll be able to see the highest bidding crowd loan in auctions, as well as any accounts that are making manual bids. So you may see other bids here, but you'll only see the highest ranking crowd loan bid on the auctions page. And we should know the auctions for Kusama, these are set by governance. Currently, the first 5 are occurring, and they're happening approximately once per week, but this cadence may change in the future. So hopefully this has been an interesting introduction to crowd loans and has both answered your questions and whet your appetite for participating in crowd loans yourself.